Hello everyone, Ron Johnson here from L.T.L Tutoring Central. I'm so glad you could join me. Today I'm reading the first text in the Read Along series in which you can practice your listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills. Today is the listening section, so you can just sit back and relax and listen to the text, or you can follow along with me. Below the video, in the description, I will put a link to the text so that you can use that for your reading section. You can read it as often as you like. It is a common lit text, so when you go there, you will see other tools that you won't be able to use unless you log in. But you don't have to log into Common Lit to read the text, so you're free to go ahead and do that on your own. Then I will be providing a prompt question down below, a prompt or a question. I'll put that in the description below as well. I'll mention it at the end of this video. And you can use that for the writing section. So you write about the prompt or about the question. Usually it will be about a paragraph or a couple of short paragraphs, maybe, in terms of response. Remember, if you want feedback on that, you'll have to send it to me. And there is a small fee of $10 US for that piece. But you can still do your writing. I just won't be able to assess it for you without that. In 2 weeks from now, I will be doing the discussion video. And that's where you can practice your speaking. But if you want to participate, you will have to register and be added to the mailing list. It's free, but you do need to register so that I can send you the invitation and so that we can meet at the same day and time in order for you to actually practice your speaking at that time. Alternatively, you can simply wait and watch the video where I will be discussing the question and the prompt either by myself or with others, depending on how popular that text is that particular week, and if it can be organized, of course, with days and times. So I will put all those links and the information as well as the question below this video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're still not sure about the procedure, check out the video I made last week entitled Read Along, and it will give you more information. Or you can send me an email, or you can ask the question down below if you're watching this on YouTube, and I will answer it there. So for now, let's start with the listening section. I'm going to share my screen, and I will read this first text. It is entitled Conformity. Conformity is the act of matching one's beliefs or actions to the norms of a larger social group. Norms are the usually unspoken rules that govern the attitudes and behavior of a group of people. As you read, take notes on the different types of conformity and what motivates people to conform. Conformity, or acting the way most people in one social group act, often grows out of a person's desire for security and belonging in a group, usually a group of similar age, culture, religion, or educational background. Acting differently from the group carries the risk of social rejection, a deep fear that many people have. The drive to conform is often particularly powerful for adolescents, for whom acceptance by peers can be a primary goal. But it also affects people of all ages. Some studies suggest that conformity decreases with age. Although the word often has a negative connotation, conformity is not necessarily a bad thing. The tendency of people to conform helps society to function smoothly in many ways. Following rules for driving, for example, enables safe transportation. The tendency of people to follow norms of interpersonal interaction enables effective communication and collaboration. Psychologist Herbert Kellman identified and labeled 3 major types of conformity. The first, compliance, occurs when a person conforms publicly, but privately keeps his or her own original beliefs. People comply because of a need for approval from others and fear of rejection. The second identification is conforming to a particular person who is well liked and respected, such as a friend or a family member. Identification is usually motivated by the perceived role model's attractiveness or success. Internalization is when people have actually internalized a group's belief system and see it as truly their own, both publicly and privately. This is the most profound form of conformity and is likely to stay with people for a long time. The strong force of conformity is well documented in psychological research. A researcher named Mozaffar Sharif, for example, wanted to know how many people would change their opinions about something because of the desire to conform to a larger group. He conducted an experiment in which people were positioned in a dark room and asked to stare at a small dot of light 15 feet away. They were then asked to guess the amount by which the light moved. The dot actually was not moving at all. On the first day, each person saw different degrees of movement, but from the second to the fourth day, the same estimate was agreed on, and the members of the group conformed their opinions to this estimate. Sharif believed this experiment demonstrated the way a norm develops in a society and how people tend to fit their personal beliefs to that norm. Few people desire to be an outlier whose opinion differs widely from what is typical in the group. The dark side of conformity has often been explored as well. The need to be accepted and the fear of punishment for deviating from group norms can, in many cases, impel people to unthinkingly adopt negative attitudes or behaviors. A phenomenon called the spiral of silence can occur when one opinion becomes entirely socially dominant because those people who have different opinions are afraid to speak or act on them. History is rife with examples of mass conformity to group norms and ideas that were destructive. Okay, that's the end of the text. You will notice at the bottom, and you'll see this when you go to the link that I will put in the description, they have explanations of some of the vocabulary words or definitions for some of the vocabulary words like deviate, impel, or rife. And that's given with the numbers within the text. So you can access those to help you as well. But that is the text conformity. Okay, I'm back. I never left really. There we have it. Don't forget to check the links below. If you want feedback on your writing, you are welcome to send it to me, but I will need to send you an invoice for that. Otherwise, everything is free for listening to this video today. Obviously, you can practice your writing on your own. I will put the question below. I'm going to mention it in just a moment. And also you can join me in a couple of weeks to participate in the discussion, which will include some speaking. You'll have the opportunity to speak. Otherwise, you can just watch that video afterwards once it is posted. I will have to give you details on that if you register to participate. The question based on this text, so the question you should be thinking about and also writing about is, can you think of any other instances in which conformity would be a good thing? They mentioned that sometimes it's a good thing within the text and they gave an example. Try to think of other examples or instances in which it would be a good thing and then describe why that would be a good thing or in what ways that would be a good thing. Try to elaborate a little bit, try to produce a number of sentences, at least one paragraph, maybe a couple of short paragraphs on that question. I will post the question below, as well as a link to the website, etc. This is the first time, so I might have forgotten something. If I did, you can always ask me a question either by email or within this video if you're watching on YouTube. It's Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central. I hope you have an amazing week and keep learning and keep having fun. Thank you for joining me today.